Yeah, joints, right? This sort of circular set of circular figures. So again, we're going to draw the head. So if we're drawing the head from the front as a review, it's kind of a egg shape. But when we're drawing it from the side, we're going to draw the top, which is kind of here through about the eye level, the bridge of the nose back here. I'll draw it on the model in a second so you can see it. And then this is the sort of the eye, nose, mouth to the chin. Here is the jawline. And then the jawline comes up here and the ear kind of sits there. Neck comes in like this. So this is always kind of the simplified structure of the skull. Even if we can't, there's hair and we can't see it. So in this particular case, this will look like, let's see, I know I'm blocking right now, but I'll show you in a second what I'm talking about. And I'll put this up so you can see this. So when I'm continuing to sketch, I'm going to try and sketch in that thing. Oh, am I worried about proportion in a 1 minute?
No.
No. Yeah, exactly. And I'm going to do maybe some circles for the shoulders and the shoulder blades and the pelvis. And then here's the elbows and the wrist. Shoulder, elbow, wrist. This body is kind of like a big can, like a tin can. Maybe comes in a little bit. Or maybe we can say it's like, there's an area that comes in, so maybe it's like a Coke bottle a little bit, this body. And then we've got the hip joints, glutes, the knees, the ankles, and then I can kind of attach these joint by joint. The hands are flippers. And then maybe I have time to do the hair. Oops, let's do the legs. So I'm not so worried. Her hair kind of goes like that. So I'm not really worried about like lots of details, and I'm not worried about whether I've got things proportionally correct. I'm worried about like, have I got the movement, right? That's what I'm working for in 1 minute. And this is really important because it's important to essentialize this process that we're going through. So I'm actually going to take a picture of this guy, this lady, and put her up so that we can practice this. Here, since I just drew these on here, will be helpful for you as you practice a 1 minute pose. So I'm about to put this up. We're going to do 10 1 minutes, but I want you to practice with this model, which we're about to draw in a longer form too. We might as well start with her. Hang on, I just got to send this to me. Come on. Funny, like our technology demands have become so instant. Kind of amazing how quickly. There we go. Come on. Open up, baby. No, that's not what I wanted. So you all get ready with a pencil and paper. Here we are. Try and sketch this one, and then I'm going to give you 10 1 minutes in a row. Okay, are you ready? So you're going to start with sketching this one. I'm going to give you about 2 minutes for this one, just to get into the scheme of things. Here we go. So try about 2 minutes. And also, we're not necessarily going to look at these unless you want to show them. This is also warm up. It's good. So can you see how I've created this structure of the head, the cranium kind of sticking back here, the jaw coming up, the neck coming in, sort of behind the ear here. And then we put the hair over the top. We miss this construction because we can't see it, because the hair is often covering it. but it's really important. I've got about 10 seconds left on this one. Then you have a little break while I find the new stuff. Okay, stop the share for just a second. Let me call up. How'd that feel?
Better than last week.
Good. That's what I want. That's what I want to hear. Let's see.
But I did practice a little. So.
You did? Did you use
did.
the, oops, here we go.
Yes.
You used the little website?
Yeah.
Cool.
Even 5 minutes was too quick.
5 minutes it really is. You start to get this sense of what like time we have. All right,
Yeah.
so let me put this back up. Anybody else notice anything about this time? Wait till you've done this 8 classes in a row. You're gonna be pros. Okay, so we've got our website up. We're going for only nude models. We're going for both male and female. We're going for adults. And we're gonna go for 60 seconds. So we're gonna do 10 of these. You can do more than one on a piece of paper if you want to. It could be small, or you can do one per sheet. It depends on you. You ready to go?
Yep.
Let's go. Oh, that's
Whoa.
pretty. Yeah, nice way to begin, right?
Really? Actually, this is one of the ones I tried, and I really screwed it up.
That's kind of what's also nice about this section is that like it'll come back and you can practice. Anyway, just do your best. It's 1 minute, right? We're not going to get fussy. Nice. Like this one, you can see the little counter if you really want to know like how time is passing. Yeah, have fun with one. Boy, the figure drawing thing is being mean to you guys right now. know we've probably all seen, I feel like I've seen this one a million times. I like the bird sounds. I don't know where they're coming from, but that's nice. And I want to make sure everybody's on WhatsApp and has contacted me. I'll let you know if I don't find you. We'll be building all of our text strings on WhatsApp. Let me do that now. Okay, V, you are the only one I don't see on WhatsApp. Can you connect with me? Or do you have WhatsApp on your phone?
Yes, I do. I just don't have my phone here.
Okay, we're going to deliver. You're going to want to get it after the class. After this part is over, you can go get it.
Okay.
And we'll deal with it then. What's today? June 14th. This is the last one. Okay. Stop. Let's go back into gallery view. How did that feel this time around? Better?
Just
Different?
a little easier.
Was it?
Yeah, it was easier.
Yeah. This is definitely, some people might find it harder. So that is also a totally valid response. Sometimes it gets harder because you're thinking more, you have more information, right? Sometimes it's harder because you're tired or distracted going into it. But generally with practice, as you get better, you'll see that these will be a great way to go into any figure drawing class. So I'm going to put this up. Before we go further, let's review. So if you have more than 1 minute to draw the figure, what is one of the things that you want to do first? Anybody remember from last week?
Measure the head and go down, find out how tall it is.
Yes, Pat, A+
Okay.
today. All right, so let me put her back on the screen. Oh, they're gonna make me do this. I totally had it up and now they're, let's see, hold on. Where are you? You are here. Ah, okay. So I'm gonna put her back up on the screen. And that must be V that you just sent in. I'm seeing that now. Okay, I'll add you to the group. So I'm gonna put her up. You tell me how many heads she is from top to bottom. What's the vertical distance of her? Oops, sorry. I touched the screen as I was measuring myself.
5?
Yeah, I'd say about 5. Anybody else come up with something different?
5.
5, yeah. Including the head, she's about 5 across. So that will help us get started. Let me go back here. So go ahead and I'm going to stop this share. I'm going to go back up. Go to speaker view again. Take a look at me here as we do this. And you all see here? All right, so we can see her. So yeah, I'm going to start by randomly determining the size of the head. If I always like to start with gesture. Some people find that confusing. So actually, I'm going to start with gesture. Before I do this, I'm going to start with the gesture. Some people find this confusing because they have to adjust the size of their gesture. If that confuses you, you can start with the vertical distance. But I like to actually have these lines with me and I just adjust them as I go along. So there's gesture. And then now I'm gonna kind of draw in the head. And I don't have to, I can decide randomly the size of my head. It's probably like this, right? The jaw comes in like this. Here is here, probably about here. The neck is there and here. So I can come here and just holding my arm like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not bad. So I actually have proportionally the top. So I know that my drawing isn't going to go any farther than here and here on the vertical. But there's a lot of other things to handle in this figure, right? The tricks are actually to figure out how far this is out, how far these are out, and how these go. So there's a technique called the envelope that is super, super helpful for things like this. Put this somewhere where we can refer to it. Okay. So the envelope, and that's, if you see here in a very simple form, this is the envelope. So it's basically, if I was going to build an envelope, like imagine that this figure is a card and I want to build a special envelope for it. And I don't want it to rattle around. I want it to fit pretty tight. The envelope is like the angles. It's hard to see here, but there's actually a hand here. This isn't going out into nothing. Her hand is actually here. The envelope is like, if I were to draw a little box around the outside edges of the person, right? what would that look like? Now, it's tough when you don't have a piece of paper to draw on. Like, I can draw this envelope in so you can see it. We will do that. Let's use a different color. So I can draw it in. It's like from the top of the head to here, bottom to here, here, and then if we want it to be really, do that, right? This is what the envelope looks like, but I can't draw that, right, on the figure. And when I'm drawing something that I'm looking at, I can't draw like that. So how do I build the envelope into my drawing? Well, it has to do, if you've seen people do this, right? So we do this to do things like measure heads. We also do this to measure angles. So I'm going to stand, let's see, I need to put myself as far away as possible from here. So I'm trying to position this so I'm not blocking you guys as we're doing this. So I am, first off, standing straight here. I'm standing in front of my paper. And you can see that basically the angle from the top of the head to here is pretty much, to the hand is pretty much a straight line. So I know that my hand isn't going to go any higher than here. I can kind of mark that as a place. My hand does not go higher than my head. And it's the same here, actually. My hand actually goes straight down, so I know that my hand and my ankle of my foot here also line up. I just need to make sure that my hand is here and my foot, it lines up with my foot. My foot doesn't come too far in or too far forward. And I know that my foot will go down to here because I also know that my feet across also line up. So these are pretty easy lines. They're just like one thing is here, so we know that the other thing is down below it. But now I actually have to stand and check the angle of where the toe reaches the hand. So I'm holding my hand straight out and I'm holding my charcoal at the angle and keeping my arms straight. I'm moving over to my, let's see, I'm moving over to my drawing and I'm seeing that, I think it's like this. So I'm going to actually sketch that in and then I'm going to go back and check it. 1, 2. Yep, that looks pretty.
What are you measuring? What
I'm
are you
checking the angle, this line
Okay.
from the tip of the foot to the hand.
To the hand.
I'm checking the angle.
Okay.
So I'm checking the angle to see if I've got that right, because that's also a perspective issue. And I may have to do it several times. Notice I cannot bend my hand as I go from here. If I keep my arm straight here, I can't bend my hand and then come here. The angle will change. I also know that, like, I don't want to put my hand on the paper and then touch the paper because I will move. So this is something that has to be done kind of in the air. And then I can check this angle as well. I think her head kind of comes down to here. I think the angle is like this. Now I'm going to check it.
Hey, Leah.
Yeah.
So what you're doing is holding your pencil at the same angle.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
As the angle. I'm holding my pencil with my arm straight to match the angle on the source. And then I'm holding my arm straight and moving over here to see, is the angle the same?
Okay, gotcha.
See that? Yeah. And it's a tricky thing. So you're going to actually have to at some point stand up and do that. But you can see how, and then there's something else I can do. Before I really start drawing, I can actually check the length of these things by using the head as a source of measurement. So I can come back here and see that on its side. So I'm measuring the head from top to the bottom, then I'm putting it on its side. It's 1, 2, it's like 2.5 heads to the end to where her hand is. So now that I know what angle her hand is, I can also figure out how far it is by going 1, 2, 2.5. So I need to bring her arm in hand in about this much. So this is where actually her hand is. Then I know where her foot is because her foot is lined up here. So see, I have a little envelope around which the entire shape is going to get built. And the same here. I can check things like how many angles between here and here, how many heads between here and here. So let me check and see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's not surprising because that's pretty much the top and the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But I also know that's probably going to be right because I've already got this line as my bottom distance as well. I know these line up. And then I can figure out what's the distance between the legs here using the head also. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Interesting. She's almost a square. Doesn't usually work out that way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I know I have to end my foot. I knew I had to move my toe a little bit forward. So my foot will actually end here. So I have these points before I start drawing. Does anybody have questions about that? I'm going to start filling in the body now, but does anybody have questions about how that construction happened? Does that make sense?
Yes. Do you want us to draw the envelope?
Yeah, you can draw in the envelope. Absolutely. So just watch me for the moment, do this drawing, and then I'm going to have you try it. Okay, so now I have my sort of basic pieces in place. And you won't always need an envelope, but you will often find that the envelope will help you get things in the right places. So I now know that my envelope needs my body needs to be contained in here. That's like really helpful for me. Okay. So let's see. I'm going to kind of sketch in just the outer shape of the hair, just because it's a big shape. And it's kind of like here in the way, but that's as far as I'm going with the hair. I can see that her shoulder is kind of tilting down. So I'm going to construct this very similar to the way I would construct.
Now, is that a mark for the upper arm?
This,
Yeah,
it's the shoulder.
it's the shoulder. Okay.
Yep.
So what's the one in the middle, the collar?
This is like the collarbone between the two.
Okay, okay.
Yep. Yep. So if you were to like build her like a tin can, it'd be like the body. This is the top of the shoulder. Yeah. Thank you for asking these questions, Pat. They're great.
Okay.
I've got that. And I know the hand is here. I'm just kind of designate the hand as a kind of flipper. 1, 2. I'm going to check the hand's smaller because it's going back. So it's not as big as it would be if it was in, front of us, but I want to lock down that space. And I want to get this angle up higher. So I've got that, I've got this, I've got the wrist. I am getting that elbow in there. Let's see. This is a little tricky. So here, let's find out, she is basically, the hand is located about one head down. The sort of elbow here is located a little bit, just a tiny bit over one head down. So when I locate where this second arm is going to be, I'm actually going to mark a head down, and then I'm going to mark a little spot under it. That's where the elbow, of what you can see of it. But mostly what you can see of this is the hand. So I'm mostly going to be sketching. I'm not doing the fingers, but I'm mostly sketching the shape of the hand in, and then a tiny little bit of the elbow, because that's all I can really see. And then, yeah, her hair is kind of over the top of things. You really can't see the rest of her elbow there. So I'm not really worried about anything other than that. And then, yeah, check the angle here. And then from here, right? She's got a very long torso and super short legs. And she's torqued in a particular way. So I'm also going to use the head to figure out how many heads down her torso is. 1. So if I'm here, 1, 2, 3, wait, 1, 2, 3. So it's basically no more than 3 heads. 3. So her crotch is like right here.
You're not including the head when you count those, are you?
No, not in that. I mean, you can,
Okay.
but at that particular case, I wasn't.
Okie doke.
Right. I'm looking a little bit at the negative space here as I'm starting to sketch between this hand and this part of the torso. Notice I'm not really committing yet on anything else. And then we've got interesting. Okay, I'm going to try putting the leg here, and then I'm going to do a little test to see, am I right? This foot is definitely going to be as big as the head. So remember that as you're sketching it in. Right? I don't think that looks exactly right. So one of the things I'm going to check is, where is this knee in relation to and in space-wise to the elbow and the torso? Right? There's actually a negative space that I could do. I think it's down lower. I'm going to use the head. Oh, look, it's about a little bit more. If I go straight down, actually. If I go straight down from the chin, her chin seems to be pretty much over the front knee. So number one, I need to know that that chin is lined up with the front knee. And number two, I need to know it needs to be down lower because there's more space. So I need to bring my knee down to about here. Using the, so you're kind of, as you start to establish, this is the sort of thing about figure drawing and really any kind of drawing. As you start to establish one thing and you know it's a good measurement, you use it for the rest. Yeah, that looks better. I still may check it. I still may change it. I know that the leg goes down here like this. I know the foot is kind of turned forward. So I have a flipper that goes like kind of a flipper thing that's happening like that. And then I'm looking here. This knee, they're actually pretty much lined up. So I know that the knee is here. Right? So I'm pretty sure things are in the right places here. As I start to add things in like breasts, and I can use my head to help measure. I can see her head is, I can see that her waist at the widest part is the size of her head.
Just sit. I just want to get out of the house.
Okay. So then I can start adding in breasts, dark and light shapes. She's got a lot of darks on her, but not everything is dark. I'm going to darken the hair. So I start to have something that's a little bit more proportional. So my question to you is, do you want me to keep going on this, or do you guys feel like you'd like to start on it? You want to try it?
Yeah, I'd like to try it so bad.
All right, let's do it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to send a picture of this across the WhatsApp thread so you can see where I'm at with it, and I'll keep working on it while you're working on it. So let me take a picture of this. Put this up. And does anybody have questions about this as we construct it? So you're still doing the same thing that you did last week. We're just adding another technique onto it. Does that make sense? This is a logical thing. And you'll find sometimes this works well. Sometimes you don't need it. but very often it's like super helpful. And I also have this figure without all of these drawings and these marks on it and stuff. So I'm going to we'll start with this, and then I'll move it to the figure without all the marks so you can see more details. You also have a picture of this, but it's good to send it. All right, so I'm sending this to me.
Oh, where's my chair?
There we are. Okay. So I thought I might give you guys 20 minutes to get started on this. Let's see how we do. I'm going to add V to the thread. And then you start, as you're working, start sending me pictures of what you're working on. I can look and help you troubleshoot. And the first thing I'm going to do is add V to the thread. Let me do that. Actually. You know, I figured out you can use you can divide WhatsApp threads into breakout rooms. It's insane what you can do. All right, and then I'm going to take a picture of where this is at for now with this next to it. So you can see my process as well. I'll keep going. I'm not convinced I've got all the construction right. So I'm going to go back. Now that I don't have to be worried about blocking your view, I'm going to go back and do some more measurements and see that I get everything in the right places. But this is where it started. And here it is. So you all should have a picture of where this drawing is right now. You guys are going to be amazed at how good you get at this by the end of 2 months. You're going to be really, really good at this. It's going to be shocking to you how good you are at this. Yeah, that's actually about right. She's got some nice musculature in these upper arms too, which is a fun thing to try and capture, particularly in that extended arm. Marie, what are you doing today? Are you working on figure drawing or are you painting something?
I'm just painting today.
You want to show me what you're working on?
I'm
Okay.
gonna try to finish this.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Can you take a picture of it and send it across the thread so I
Sure.
can see where it's at right now? Susie Weber, you got to be careful. Arizona scares me right now. Arizona is scaring me right now. You have got to take good care of yourself. I'm worried for you. Okay.
What's going on with Arizona?
Oh, their COVID, they're about to explode with so much COVID, they won't know what to do with it. They're one of the highest in the country. And they're totally reopening, and it's bad news.
Well, I read in the Washington Post this morning that Oregon has the second highest increase in the last week.
Yeah, we're in bad shape too.
Yeah,
We have to be careful for ourselves. That is, you guys aren't going anywhere, are you? I hope you're not going anywhere.
I was gonna go to Tulsa for isn't there a great rally?
Ooh, Marie.
Oh yeah.
Joking.
Oh God, Marie.
Nightmare. What a bad idea.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Hey Marie, you know what I
Yeah.
think? I wonder if you just glazed it blue, if that
Glazed
would
it?
finish it.
Okay.
I don't think there's anything else you can do to it. Yeah, look at this beautiful painting that Marie has been working on. So what we want is something that kind of has a universal, you have the soft yellows, go over the whole thing with maybe ultramarine blue,
Okay.
or maybe even phthalo. Test a couple of blues, see what you like.
Okay.
But I'm not sure you need to do anything else besides that to this.
Okay.
You
Yeah,
have
I was-
done the
I was
work.
thinking about I'll glaze it, and then I was just gonna add just a little bit of highlights here and there.
Just a couple, but not as much as you think. Yeah, I mean, we'll
Okay.
see what happens.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, it's really, really good. Yeah, I can already see that my back, I can see as I look at this that I haven't quite got this area right. So notice if I'm not getting it right, it's going to be easy. There's a kind of, check that angle and then this angle. Yep, I see what I'm doing here.
Yeah. What? You're fine.
Molly. She wants her mommy.
Mm-hmm.
So also guys, we are gonna start I'm gonna start the Tuesday night demos this week. So that means if mine is a watercolor, in theory, Marie is gonna start in 2 weeks with something, although I'm not gonna put her, we're gonna decide what that is first before, I'm not gonna totally, Marie, put you on the spot right now until we can test that out.
I've been looking through some of my stuff, so I'll see what I can come up with too.
I think we're excited. I was thinking a pastel sunset might be really fun, but also maybe an oil sunset. So we'll
Okay,
talk about
I'll
it.
look through my stuff.
Yeah. Does that sound good to you guys? You kind of excited about the idea of getting to go back to oil? Maybe get to go into watercolor a little bit?
Yes.
Excellent. Okay. Sorry, I know you're focusing.
The picture looks like someone's skiing right
She
now.
does look a little bit like that.
Oh,
It's
good.
a
because
wonderful pose. I really love this pose. I sort of accidentally picked it to talk about the envelope, but it's such a perfect pose for it because she's so well placed. If you get to the point where you're kind of, in fact, if you start sending stuff over when you guys think you have something, we might actually, oh, Katie, yeah, that's looking pretty good. I'm checking it. Yep. I think. I'm holding it up just to see. Katie, the only thing that seems a little off to me, I'm going to point at the drawing here, is that I think you've brought that line just a touch too low. You've brought it down to here.
Okay.
So bring it up just a little higher. Otherwise, that looks great.
Thank you.
Yeah. Is this helping you with your figure drawing? I mean, your figure drawing is already pretty good. So is this helpful in terms of learning how to kind of nuance what you already know?
Yes, absolutely. I never measured anything in the past. I just eyeballed it.
Right.
So this is really helping me tighten everything up.
Right. And what if you can get those measurements in early, then you know that whatever you're doing is more correctable. You know what I mean? Later on down the line, when you're like, oh my God, this leg has to be here. It doesn't mean the whole drawing is off. Let's see. V. Okay, so V. Looking pretty one. I'm holding it up just to see. V, it feels like the angle here, I'm going to show it to you on this thing. It feels like this angle, you have her up a little bit more. So try bringing this line more diagonally to the left. Look at this little negative space that's here and pay attention to that angle. Otherwise, it looks in pretty good shape. Also, this foot can be a little bit longer. This is like this part of the foot is a little bit longer. You have it shorter, so the foot's here. Nice though. It's funny how little tiny things can make a difference. So I corrected mine a little bit. Let me see if you guys can see that based on everything I told you.
I just noticed that there's a diagonal from her head down to her left leg, left foot.
There really is. Yeah, there really is. You're right. It goes all, you're right. Like that's kind of like, yes, it goes straight. That's a pretty straight shot. Oh, that boob is totally in the wrong place. See, I just totally sent you something and then realized, yep, nope, that's not in the right place. So the breast, the nipples are probably the last thing anybody's going to do in this, in any figure drawing, because it's really easy. We fixate on them. We always get them in the wrong places, like I just did. Don't do what I did.
Okay, she's way too big. It seems to be my MO.
You can set, everybody does it too. That's a totally, you can send me a picture pad if you want me to take a look. Just send it across the bed.
All right.
And I can tell you. It's really easy to make things too big. How's it looking with the glaze, Marie?
It looks good.
Good. Like less details than you need to?
I think so. I mean, I'm just kind of adding a little bit here and there, but not too much.
Okay, so Suzanne, I'm going to say that, let me check. One, two, so let's see. So Suzanne, this is looking in pretty good shape, except I'm going to point on the figure. This leg is way too far out. There are, from here, I'm pointing to the side of the foot, to the bottom of to the toe here, there are 5 heads. Count on the side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And yours is about 6 heads. You have your foot about here.
Yep.
So pull that in, but otherwise looking pretty good. Also, I feel like you've got her standing up. I'm looking to see, is that true? Nope, those look in pretty good shape. Do that correction and I think you'll see.
Okay.
All right, Pat.
She's got way too long of a torso.
She has a long torso. She's long-waisted.
Yeah, okay, wow.
2, 3. Believe it or not, that's in the right place. You're actually on the right track, Pat. Keep niggling it. Everything looks
Okay.
to be pretty. Her
Wow,
torso, if you want to measure something, measure from here, the crotch, to the bottom, to the line between the legs. So that's about.
I'm not sure couldn't catch you showing that.
I'm pointing, so from right here, this may be a little long. This
What are you
should
pointing
be,
at?
I'm pointing at the crotch. Look at
And
the
my
drawing. Look at the figure on the computer screen. See where I'm
That's the one
pointing?
back. You mean that? Well, I'm confused.
Are you looking at the computer screen with the figure?
Looking at you.
No, don't look at me. Look at the
Don't look at
computer
you.
screen.
Oh, there we
Look
go.
at the screen. So
Okay.
from here to here you've got this line too low. So this needs to come up. And really the distance from here to here is probably, I'm going to guess 2 heads. Let me see. 1.
I'm sorry, Leah. I'm still not seeing you indicate anything. Now I'm seeing the
Are you
girl
looking
with
at
the
the
blue-
model?
the blue lines around her.
Yes. So can you see my pointer?
No.
Look at this. See the pointer now?
Oh, wait. Oh, it's so little.
Oops.
Yes, now I can see it.
All right. So from here to here is the
Okay.
distance. You've got it. This is too low. You've got
Okay.
this down here. There's really basically a little bit more than 2 heads between here and here.
And there. Okay.
Yep. So that's, I think, the biggest issue happening.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. And Edith. Edith, can you take a picture of this looking straight on it? It looks like you're looking at an angle. Am I right, or is this a straight figure?
Okay, we'll try.
Do you see what I'm saying? Edith?
Send a second copy.
Yeah, let me take a look. And then, yeah, Rebecca, that looks pretty good. Rebecca, I think you've got her front foot too far out too. Yeah, way too far out, I can tell.
Yeah, I was wondering about
It's really, see where I'm pointing here? The ankle, from this side of the ankle to here, the toe, is 5 heads on its side. And you have about 6.
okay.
So just move that foot in. And notice also where this toe is in relation to the top of her head. Like it's pretty close. Also, fix the angle of her eye, nose, and mouth line. Right now you have her looking straight up. It's really an angle.
Gotcha.
Yep, but otherwise looking good.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So Edith, this looks way too long to me.
I see.
Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It is an extra head long. So can you see where I'm pointing to here? Here on the, so with the model, I have the little white pointer and I'm pointing to her head.
Yes.
Okay, so if you count down from here, she is, including her head, 1, 2, 3, 4. She's 4 heads down and then her head.
Oh, I counted 5 before.
2, yep. That's the issue. So it's 5 including her head. It's only 4.
5
So
including.
oops, sorry guys. So go ahead and adjust your envelope. Also, I want you to look at how thin, look at her hand is right next to this part of her torso. Her hand is like right here. You have her hand way over here. and her arm way over here. Her hand is like right next, it's practically touching this breast. So what we want is something that has this kind of shape. So bring her, I would erase the torso and the legs and start over again from there, reconstructing. All right. Yeah, it's interesting because she's so long-waisted and then has these short legs. Anna, let's see. Looking pretty good. One, 2, 3. Okay, excellent vertical distance. And I have this feeling yours is too short. Here's the problem. Can you see here? Anna, can you see here where I'm pointing?
Yep.
So this ankle really has to line up with her fingers here. And your foot is in too close. Yep, that's the big, and you'll be able to get more distance, and then we need to get a little bit more width here in the torso.
Yeah, I've just been working on that actually right now.
Yep, and then also notice her head. You've kind of chopped her head off as half her head is gone, right?
I just was working on that. I worked on that before the middle.
Awesome.
I'll send an updated one here in a few minutes.
Yes, perfect. Andy, one of the best ones I've seen from you. This is absolutely really good. So I feel like I'm going to point again here. Same issue with Pat as with you. 3, 1. I feel like her crotch is higher, Andy, than you have it. So bring this up a little bit. So really what it is 1, 3. So really, she's like if you measure a line like this at the angle from here to here, she is 1, 2, 3, 3.5 heads to here. So you've brought her down a little bit too low. So just bring that up a little bit. Using your head as a source of measurement. Yep, good. Really, really good. I can see this technique is helpful for you guys. You're all doing great with it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Technique helps, doesn't it? I mean, it doesn't make it easy, but it makes it easier. It's like, and there's plenty more technique where this came from.
No, all right. There's your problem.
You know what they say? Measure once, measure twice, cut once.
No, I just had her leg starting in her crotch.
Everybody doing? How was your week? Anything happen?
Pretty quiet.
Quiet? I like quiet. I'm excited. There's now 3 babies in the groundhog family known as the chunk family. I don't know if you guys watch these guys on Facebook, but or YouTube, but there it is. Watching a groundhog eat is really, really calming.
Oh, come on.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, Pat. Yep. Yep. So her leg is wider than you have it.
The one going out?
This one, yep, this one.
Yeah, I
Oh,
haven't
good.
didn't give that one any muscles yet. I just want to make sure it's on the right side.
Yeah. I think you got it on the right places. Suzanne Hill, I'm going to have to agree with you on this. It's fun to watch Pat winnow down her drawings, isn't it? To go from
Yes.
The gargantuan.
it's like really it's really fascinating. I love watching people's process. And it probably helps, Pat, that you did this last year too. So even though it's been a long time, I know we're calling upon skills that are already there. This is what's really interesting about drawing, you guys. And it's one of the things I want to emphasize. You do not lose it. Drawing is a skill like riding a bicycle or driving a car. It's one of those skills that we call it a universal skill, is I think the technical term for it. And that means that once it's in, it's always in. You might be rusty, but you can still build upon it. So even if you haven't been doing it for a while, as you go in, you're going to see that everything you already know will link up with what you're learning now. And even things that when you're introduced the first time are kind of difficult become easier on the second round.
It seems more automatic for me now to look for angles and stuff.
And proportions. Yeah.
It's
very unautomatic at the beginning. That's not, as Katie was saying, Katie's a wonderful drawer, right? But as Katie was saying, this is not how you teach yourself to draw, right? You don't teach yourself to draw by measuring. You kind of eyeball it and you hope you're right. And then you try to correct it. But this is, so it's not like you can't get to a certain distance with it. But if you want to get to the next level, you got to measure. And you have to measure first, which is like really hard to get in your mind. But the more you do it, the better it gets. And the more sort of habituated you get to doing it. And I promise you, you will get to the point where you don't even think about it. And you can't understand how anybody could just guess and figure they're right. Like you'll be like, why would you do that? What a waste of time. Like it'll seem like nonsensical to you. This is a building. That's a sort of great thing. I noticed V, it's been a while since V's been in class. She's like picked right up her drawing. I know she's done a bit before in this, but like I can see V, you just got it. It's like, it's right there, right back. It hasn't gone away. My question is doing a cartwheel like a universal skill? I know we all know how to do it.
I couldn't even begin to do that. I would be flat on the ground. You'd have to drive all this way.
Right?
Yeah.
But you
sharp,
did it,
sharp,
at, presumably it's in there somewhere. Like we know how to do it. I don't know.
Maybe a somersault.
Yeah. I can tell by the way you guys are looking and even holding your bodies that this is better for you than it was last week. I have been telling all my students all week how I was like, yeah, we did a check-in halfway through the class and all of you looked at me like, you bastard. What have you done to us? Oh, much better, Edith. But Edith, I want you to notice much, much better. 1, 2, 4, 5. Okay, so Edith, notice, look here. I'm going to point here at the drawing. Look at how close this hand
Oh, yes.
is to here.
I need
So bring that line down here. So, and that's important because this line being that close to her hand shows how far she's bent over. That makes these lines make more sense. Nice, very nice. Good job, you guys, killing it. Yeah, my Reuters classes are 2 hours, so we don't get quite to the level of exhaustion that you guys get to. And so I think like checking in at an hour and a half, like, you know, when I check in with them, they're like, I feel great, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, well, sometimes when you check in with people, they don't feel great. Halfway through the class, it's hard.
Did you send over your, after you made a change?
I didn't. Let me see if I can do that. I think maybe I did. Let's see. I kind of stopped working because I was looking at yours, but I'll get back into it here. But let me send where it is right now. I still don't think I have her leg in the front exactly right, but I can see that now. Nope, that's not what I wanted to do. WhatsApp is a nice way of sending stuff, isn't it, you guys?
It is.
Yeah. This is what much of the world uses. Anywhere else in the world, this is what people use to communicate. I think it works in low bandwidth. It like, yes, there we go.
But it has an English name.
Penis. Way, yes.
I'm seeing more and more kids show up here to help their parents.
Ha!
Their old parents.
The old parents who can't figure out the thing. I know, it's crazy. That's better, I think. Is anybody ready for me to remove this one and go to the original drawing? The original photos so that you can see things better? I think you're all in pretty good shape. Here, let's take a little break. Just a little break, stretch break. I'm going to look at all of you in gallery view, see how everybody's doing. Take a little stretch break. Yes, take a break. All right, dare I ask, how are you feeling? Dare I ask that question? Anybody feeling better? Anybody feeling frustrated? Anyone feeling, how you feeling?
Frustrated.
Yeah? Okay, that's pretty good. That means you're in good shape, Pat. You're in the right place.
I'm frustrated.
Yeah, that's a good
Okay.
good feeling to have right now. Change happens through frustration, like hitting the wall and then going forward. The biggest problem, one of the biggest problems we have with like this country right now and the world is that nobody wants to go to the feel uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
That's a huge problem. So this ability to be frustrated and uncomfortable is actually pretty good. Anybody feeling good? Halfway through? Colin feels good. Suzanne is nodding her head.
Feel good.
I think Cohen is napping.
Cohen is like working. He's in the zone. Excellent. All right, so I'm going to move. Actually, the first thing I thought I would do is I want to go to the original photo. I'm going to call it up here so that we don't have all these numbers and these lines getting in the way. Where are you? Here you are. Where's your drawing? Here she is. Okay. And if you want, and it's also in color, which I think helps. If you want, I can put it upside down. Does anybody want me to turn it upside down so you can check your measurements? Yeah? Okay, let me do that just quickly. So go ahead and turn your drawing upside down. You'll be able to see some things. That might help me too. Okay, yeah, let's see. Oh, Suzanne, nice, coming along. Edith, better. Better, although Edith, you're still having this problem. Look at it upside down. Turn your drawing upside down, Edith, and you're gonna see the issue that you're having, I think, much easier. So there's two things. One is that your shoulder is way too low. Your elbow is way too low and it's lined up in the wrong place. Your chin and your hand and your elbow, her chin, her hand, and her elbow are all lined up. And you have it like this, Edith. So take a look at that. See if we can get but much better, pulling it together. Yeah, Suzanne, that's it. She still looks, let me see. Suzanne, she's still too wide apart.
The legs.
Yeah, the feet need to be 5 heads. You need to bring that foot 1 head in. You have her foot here, and it needs to come in here. You don't necessarily have to change the leg very much, but the foot definitely needs to come in. You'll see.
From the toe of one to the heel of the other?
What's that?
From the toe of one to the heel of the other is 5?
From here to here, yeah. From here to here is 5 heads on the side.
Outside. Okay.
Here to the outside. It's 5 heads to the side. Otherwise, very nice. Belly button's in the right place. Really love this. still working from home?
I'm not working.
Yes.
I am until at least the fall, which will probably be a resurgence, which will probably be
Means
forever.
for the end of the year. How are you adjusting to that, Anna? How's that working out?
Oh, it's been fine. I used to work from home.
So you're used to it.
Yeah, I mean, I miss people, but work's been super, super busy, so that's been good.
Do you find you get more done at home?
I usually do.
I always did, because there's no visiting or anything like that.
Yeah, and because it's been so busy, and now that because usually when I used to work from home full time, and then I was really productive from like 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., and then that was kind of my full day.
Yeah.
But I haven't in a while, so every time I worked from home, like 1 or 2 days a week from my current job, it would be like, oh, I'm gonna do laundry. Oh, I'm gonna be
I'll start this too.
I like to think of that as like doubling up though, right? Like you're getting
That's true.
2 bangs for your work buck. You're getting to
But
work
now
from
I'm so busy, like one day would be like 2 or 3 days of work because I have no breaks, or I have a bunch of meetings, which in the office or at home, both are just useless for getting anything done.
Yep, I feel ya. Perfect, Suzanne. That's great. You got it. And see, you didn't have to redo your whole drawing to adjust that.
No, I'm redoing her thigh a tiny bit because that made it thicker.
Yep.
But
Yep. That's all. But that's what's really nice here. Anybody ready for me to turn this the right side up again? Right-sided way? Are you happy working upside down?
I'm still happy upside down.
Okay. Happy upside down. Give me a shout when you want her to come back up.
I'm trying that right leg now is my challenge.
Pat, I know you're going to get it.
You're so sweet.
Oh,
I don't
nice,
believe any of
Anna.
the things they say about you.
And I love this whole bottom area. You've just got the swing of it, and the way she's kind of jutting her hip out. Really nice.
It took some adjustment, and that left leg, I kept having to fatten that bad boy.
Yep.
Like,
yep.
way more than I thought I would need to.
Right. You mean this one here?
No, the other one.
The other one. Yeah, it's an interesting because
I had to bring her hip out more on the other leg.
Yep, nice.
But otherwise, like I had to fatten that.
Right. So now here's your last challenge, and I want you to notice this. See this little edge here, this little light edge of her? That is also, so her body isn't dark on the edge. It's got this light side because that's where the light is hitting. So you need to add that onto what you've already got now that you've got the dark area. It's looking really good. Nice.
Did I just grab a white charcoal?
Yeah, right. Or you can just draw a contour line around the edge to so like draw, like sort of extend the hip out a little bit this way, and then maybe smudge a little bit of charcoal in so it's not so dark, but it's light, but it's still darker. The one thing about her is the lighting isn't fantastic. It's so dark.
Yeah, and I was having trouble getting the lights in all the spots for sure.
I feel like her breast on this one that I'm pointing at, the big one, the one that we can see all of, could be a little bit. I think her nipple is a little too small. You have.
Yeah, I kind of non-committed to it. Let me just.
Yeah. Work once again. Like work
is very like square.
Yeah, it is really square. So take an eraser and go in and kind of erase out that shape. And then that'll help you get the other shapes in. Here.
Yeah, I'm just struggling with that shape. For whatever.
Andy Laren, excellent. Excellent. How are you feeling about this, Andy?
Hi, how are you?
Good.
Good. Sorry, the mute button is always.
Yep. I feel you.
I don't know. I'm still probably more in the frustration phase, like everyone
But
else.
you're really pushing. I want to tell you, this is a huge jump from where you were last week, like massive. This is probably the best drawing that you have produced for me so far, like significantly. And so I wanted to just credit you for that, because this is hard. Like, and I just want you to notice that once you spend 8 weeks doing this, nothing is going to feel as hard to draw again after this. So this is an excellent drawing. I still feel, I'm looking at her to see.
Doesn't feel right. for some
Yeah,
reason.
yeah, there's a couple of areas I'm looking, but they're small. So this leg is a little bit, look at how, if you look at it upside down, it's really easy to see. This leg is wider.
Okay.
So you have it as narrower here, so you really need to bring
I see
that
what you're
in,
saying.
right? See
Right.
that? And then
Yep.
this leg is actually wider too. So she's very slender. You want to make her skinny, but this leg is actually the one that's closest to us, the one I'm pointing at now. So everything's a little bit bigger here than it would
Okay.
be over here. So yeah, widen up this thigh here and that hip, and notice how that hip kind of comes in as a shape, almost like a triangle,
Right.
below the waist. So there's really 3 lines. There's like this line, and it's kind of like a little box across. And then there's this line, and then there's this triangle here. You could probably divide her into like triangles and sort of rectangles.
Okay.
See how I'm pulling those shapes in? So make sure you have room for all that stuff. That's what's going to help you nuance this. But I also want you to notice how easy it is to be off by just a tiny bit. Like you feel like things are really off, and really it's just this tiny little thing. Edith, there you go. Now we're getting there. Now we're getting somewhere. Hold on. So 1, 2. Okay, Edith, I'm going to tell you this again. Are you drawing upside down?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Are you seeing that you have the shoulder, the hand is stacked. So the hand is stacked right over the elbow, which is right below the chin, which is right, the hand is almost touching the breast. So see, this is like a boxy shape. This is like a little tiny square. And then straight up, and then over here. So you still have her elbow way long and way out of proportion. See, you've still got her elbow like hanging out here. Her elbow is right in here. Let me see if I can.
It's an elbow? You can turn it upside down now if you want to.
Yeah, her elbow is like right here. Let's turn it right side up. I'll turn it right side up just to, unless anybody else needs that. I'm going to see if I can draw this.
Oh, I see it. Okay.
I want to see if I can draw this, Edith, on your drawing. So let's see what I can do here.
But it's like is that the color, the white? Is that the color of the photo?
Yeah.
That's really strange. Okay.
Just a white background. So let me see if I can sketch this in. Edith, I'm going to try and show you what I mean. I've recently learned how to draw on photographs on my phone.
Big. That's at her waist.
Wait, let me see. That's it. Okay.
Hand comes to the same place that her foot is. I better check with you. It's nice that someone's listening while I talk to myself.
All right. I'm going to try and show you, Edith, with a very sketchy drawing. So I have to do it with my fat little fingers, and it's not like super fantastic, but I'm going to try and send this to you so you can see where the arm, the chin, and the hand are in relation to where you have them. Let's see if this works.
I will be right back. I have to take the dogs out.
Yep. No worries. Pat, that's looking great.
Tell me about the arms and the leg on the right. They look real short to me, but they seem to measure right.
So the leg should be farther out because remember
right-
that the ankle here is lined up with the hand up here. So your foot needs to be a little bit farther.
Farther out, okay.
Yeah, that's the issue.
Okay.
And bigger. And
And
it needs to line up. The ankle needs to line up with the finger, the outstretched finger there.
Okay.
That's why it
Thank
seems
you.
short to you. Okay. Dang it. I just saved that. Now where the hell is it?
Excuse me.
Isn't it? Hey, Joe, how are you liking working from home?
It's actually working out very well. And I didn't think that would, because I didn't think I'd be able to be focused. But
Yeah.
it is very, it's a lot more productive than being at work.
Oh my God, it's so much better, isn't it?
Yeah. I've always wanted to go to work and be around my friends and everything. I never wanted to be stuck in the house, and I haven't left the house in a week, and it's okay. I'm surviving that. Still, if I had the choice, I'd go to work.
Right. Really?
But I expect until the vaccine's out, we'll be working from home. So I'm thinking in at least a year.
At least a year, if not more.
Yeah. And there's no reason to go to work.
Yeah.
I think they're going to
Not if you don't have for you, there's no reason. So Edith, did you get that? Did you see that little yellow envelope? That's actually where, if you can see, the chin, the elbow, the hand, and the chin.
Right.
Yep. That's what I was trying to show you. I love working from home. I've worked from home for so many years that I can't really remember not working from home, but I love not having to go anywhere. It is awesome. I get way more done. The problem is I can't stop working. So pretty much every day is the same. It's never, I was lectured by several people recently saying you actually have to take a day off. I'm like, why? Like, this is just the rhythm. The work is there. Like there's work every day to be done.
It's like Ray Bradbury said, he wrote every day.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just less distractions. I've come up with a really great, I'm very excited. I've come up with a new cityscape series, which I'm going to have ready for Open Studios in October. We won't be able to have a in-person Open Studios, but I will be doing a live 30-minute presentation from my studio and releasing a whole series of paintings that are connected to Black Lives Matter. So I finally kind of came up with the concept, and now I'm just like, have to do it. It's exciting. I think they're going to be really neat.
What to do, I'll show you.
Marie, how's it looking?
I think good. Yeah, I'm just kind of playing around with it.
You're at that sort of joyful end stage where you can kind of decide to end it at any point. Like you can keep mucking around with it, but yeah, everything you do to it looks pretty good.
Thank you. Yeah,
Right?
I'm just enjoying. I haven't had really much time to do anything, so it's kind of.
Yeah, how has it been going back to work for you? Are you okay?
Well, our county doesn't believe a virus exists. So.
I know. And you have to go back to work. Are you
Yeah.
are you wearing a mask and being careful? Because
They are not requiring any masks at all because they fear that people will retaliate.
Are you telling me that you're not allowed to wear a mask?
They're there if you so choose.
Are you wearing a mask?
Retaliate how?
Because they have seen in the news that people have gotten very aggressive about being forced to wear a mask.
Are you wearing a mask? Please tell me you're wearing a mask.
Yeah, we wear masks.
You. I don't care about your colleagues because obviously you can't
Yeah,
help them.
sometimes I do, sometimes I can't, just in what I'm doing for work. So, it's been interesting. They still have lots of, managers having closed door meetings together, no masks.
Right.
We're in a very small community, but yet right on the outside of Portland. So it's been interesting.
You keep saying interesting. I want to know what you really mean.
Well,
yeah.
What's interesting, meaning how you have people pick and choose what they want to see or believe that's been reported and then make rules about it.
Right.
Depends on whether they're watching Fox News or ABC.
Yeah, or just responding to the facts.
Yeah.
And maybe not looking at us as a liability, but maybe them as the county as a liability.
Right.
That's been a very hard part for our county in general. So 80% of our county commutes to Portland.
Right.
So, but
Take
we've
it
had
credit.
3 or 4 new cases in the last week.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't have any for like 2 months.
In Gladstone?
No, we're at Scappoose.
She's in Scappoose.
Okay. Scappoose.
V, this is looking really amazing. Just one second. Hold on to that thought, Marie. V, I have one suggestion, which is I want you to look at this negative space. It's like a little triangle between the elbow here. I'm pointing on the thing here so you can see it. You're a little bit, your torso is a little bit farther out. It's more like here. So work on this. So her breast is poking out much more than it really is. So look at this shape, this relationship, this negative space between the elbow, the torso, and the breast up here. And I think that'll help you do that sort of minute correction. Katie, this looks really great. I think there's 1 or 2 things. She is slightly less thick here than you have her. So I would thin her out just a touch. And slightly thinner in her arms. So you can probably just take an eraser and like thin that out a little bit. Otherwise, so this arm and this leg are a little bit thinner. But for the most part, that's really good. Yep.
Thank you.
Yep.
Who's 4307?
4307. Who's 4307?
It's me.
Who's me?
Who's me?
Virag. Me.
Virag.
Ah, Vera. I like
Yeah.
that. That's
Isn't that
beautiful.
great?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that white, it really helped too, didn't it?
It does. So there you go, Anna. That's a way of, yes, you can take a white chart piece. You could take a sort of white charcoal pencil, or maybe, is that pastel, V?
No, it's just a charcoal
A
pencil.
white charcoal pencil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will agree with everyone, working at home did work better for me. I was way more productive.
Yeah. You
But
can't choose to, you can't demand that. Can't you go to your union and say that, or is that
I am in a union and we are talking about it, but no, we're actually in a whole new negotiating for a new union contract as well right now. So
good? And maybe it should include working from home
yeah.
if you feel in danger.
Anna, what do you do for a living? What union are you in?
I'm a property appraiser for our assessor's department.
In the county that she lives
Yeah.
in.
So I'm actually out in the field quite a bit, which has been like, it's funny because everyone is home, right? So they like want to come and talk to you. Then you're like, stand back. It's weird.
Right. Joe, just quickly, this looks really good. I would say this line, I'm pointing at the figure now. Right. Hi, where you need to correct. This needs to come a little bit straighter down. You're a little bit too slanted here. Also, you've got her breast kind of floating up. You've got her nipples about here. See how it's, this is a bigger circle and this comes in more. This comes
What was the first straight line you were saying?
This one is you've got it a little bit too, it's too bent. Look at this shape here. See how
Yeah,
I'm
that's what
drawing
I've been
this
working on, trying to figure that out.
Yeah, try.
The elbow can come down more, it looks like. Even though that's one head down.
I think this angle is a little bit, I think your angle here is a little bit, it's too dramatic. It's too severe. It's going too much this way. This is kind of what's happening, Joe. It's going like this. See? And it needs to kind of come down a little bit more, down. And then Edith, much better. And then the boob is really floating out here. Get rid of that nipple. Get this light shape, this light kind of squarish shape correct first before you put the nipple back in. Yep, so Andy, you want to be working on, so look at Andy, look at this. So here's the biggest, you guys, it's interesting what problems everybody has with breasts. And the reason is you're struggling to see what's actually happening with the breast because of our ideas about breasts, the round circle, the dot. This breast is really shaped like a square of light in dark. And this breast is kind of curved. This is a dark curved shape that comes like this, and then there's a light shape here. So they have different shapes. Look at the shapes. Instead of thinking breast, make the nipples the last thing you do. Really, and so Andy, you've got the breast like here, kind of stopped here, like this. Really, the breast is bigger on this side because she's turned towards us on this side so we can see it, and this one's smaller. So really look at the shapes, the dark, light, and medium shapes here when you're working with the breast. But good. Edith, nice. I like how you're adding color in here now. So Edith, the other thing is her head, wait, her head is, you have her head facing up like this, and really the head is quite slanted. So you need to slant that head and get this shape right, which is the cranium, right, extending much farther back. So really look at this shape, this dark shape, and this light shape. It's like, this is like a triangle of light. And the angle needs to be more to the left here, from the left going down to the right. You have it more straight up and down. Good, it's coming. It's coming. Yep. Keep on working. It's good, you guys. And you've got to, I think at this point I can stop. I think at this point I can stop the recording. I feel like we've got, I'm going to stop the share for just a second, take a little break. I'm going to stop the recording.